Good afternoon, everyone. As you know, my name is Enzi Sewa, and this is Spiritual Infinity. And my guest today is in Arizona, America, and his name is Stanley Bronstein. And Stanley woke up one morning and decided things had to change. But we are going to hear about the journey leading up to that, and that what he did on his spiritual side to be the man he is today. So without much ado, Stanley Bronstein in Arizona, how are you?
It's nice to meet you. I'm doing very well and I'm happy to be here.
Very good. Stanley, as you know, we're here today to listen to your spiritual journey, what you went through and how you changed it and what you're doing today. So let's start at the beginning. The very beginning that molded you to be where you were, that when you decided things had to change.
Okay, we're going to really start at the beginning. We're going to start when I was 8 years old.
Good.
Okay. When I was 8 years old, my mother died. And needless to say, that messed with my head. And as a result of the experience, I'll give you a little bit of context. I was at school. I rode my bike to school. The lady from the office came to the door of the schoolroom and said, "Stanley, your father called. He said, it's okay for you he needs you to go home. You've got your bike. You can ride your bike home. You can go." And I'm wondering what's going on here. You know, like any kid would wonder. I got 1 block away from the school and I fell off my bike. And I got up and I immediately realized what happened. I knew my mother was in the hospital. That's all I knew. And I said, my mother died. I knew it. I felt it. I mean, I was connected to her, definitely bonded to her, and I felt it and I knew it. And I turned stone cold. I did not cry. I didn't do anything. I just got back on my bike. I rode home. I got to the house, opened the door. Everyone was crying. People who were there were crying. I didn't cry. They told me what happened. I didn't cry. My father put me in his room alone because he was busy planning the funeral. We're Jewish, and Jewish people bury their dead very quickly. Mm-hmm. So he was planning the funeral for the next morning. And so I'm just cold as ice, not crying. The next day, we're at the funeral home, and I saw her casket. And I started screaming. And I demanded that they open the casket so I could see her. And they did. They didn't want to, but they did. And they let me see her. And then I'm still cold. I went to the funeral, went to the cemetery. We buried her, still cold, no crying, no crying. For the next month or two, I would have dreams at night. You could call them dreams or nightmares. I'm not sure which. That she got up in the middle of the night and walked home from the cemetery. And then I'd wake up and see she was not there. So obviously it impacted me. And here I am. I'm living alone with my father, who was massively obese. Very big man. Very overweight. And he did not know how to eat healthy. All he knew was he was not a very well-educated man. He was a hard-working man. He knew to feed his family. He knew to do his work. He knew that I should go to school every day so that I could learn and have a better life than he did. He knew I should stay out of trouble. You know, he knew those kind of things, but he didn't know how to nurture me. He didn't know how to feed me properly. He didn't know how to get me help that I think I needed. He didn't know any of those things. And both of us, we ate ourselves to oblivion. Food was our comfort. So, because I'm sure he was going through anguish as well. Mm. And so we both just ate and ate and ate. And I started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Most men they brag if they're the same size they were when they got married. Well, I'm smaller than I was when I was 13 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or a crazy thing, but it's the truth. I found pictures to prove it. I'm smaller than I was when I was 13 years old. So here I am. I'm going to school. I more or less stayed out of trouble, but I was a handful, no doubt about it. And I'm getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Women did not want to date me in high school. They were my friends, but they didn't want to date me. So it already started impacting me with relationships. Then I went to college, same thing. Then my last year in college, my senior year in college, I lost about 75, 80 pounds.
Ooh.
But I went on a driving trip that summer with a good friend of mine, and there were cookies in the car. And I went back to eating cookies and went back to eating all my junk and everything else. Weight came back on, plus a lot more.
Oh.
So that was my first real encounter with temporary changes. You're going to get temporary results. Your changes need to be permanent, but I hadn't figured all this out then. But these are, looking at it now in retrospect, these are the things you realize. So I did that. Then I graduated from college. I became an accountant. I became a CPA. You call them chartered accountants, I believe, in the UK.
Yeah.
And did that. I'm working with one of my older brothers. One day at work, we got in an argument, as older brothers do. And he starts saying, "You ought to go to law school." And I said, "You're absolutely right. I should." In the middle of an argument. And I signed up for law school. 4 months later, I started law school, and it took me 4 years till I went at night, but I graduated. I became an attorney as well. So the lesson in that story is you can be arguing with someone who's totally full of nonsense, which he was, but you should be listening to what they say anyway, because some words of wisdom may accidentally come out of their mouth. He told me to go to law school, and I went, and it changed my life. So it was a good thing.
So let me stop you there. So you're not only a chartered accountant,
yes.
You're also an attorney of law.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Thank you. There are probably about 25,000 of us in the world. I don't have an exact count, but there are a few of us. And so when I graduated law school, I lost weight again in the last year. This time I lost 100 pounds. So for you, so 100 pounds. So I started to look better. I started to look good enough to where women were interested in dating me and that kind of thing. So I started going out, started dating people, and eventually got married. But along the way, life accidentally presented me with an opportunity to begin healing. The universe has a funny way of sending us what we need sometimes, doesn't it?
It does. Let me stop you there, please, Stanley. Let me just backtrack a minute. Because when you finished college, you lost a lot of weight.
Yes.
And am I right in saying you lost that weight because being at college, nobody wanted to date you, and all the guys were probably having fun and having girlfriends, and you didn't? So was the spur to encouragement for you to lose weight because you wanted to date, you wanted to have girlfriends? Yes,
that was part of it. It was many things.
Well, right.
I mean, I'm not a stupid guy. I knew even back then that being big like I was not a good thing.
No. So college made you did it, but then you put it on again. And then later on, when you've finished law school, just before that, you lost it again. So again,
I know it's kind of funny how I did it both times.
Yes.
I know. I've noticed that parallel. It's interesting.
So it's something that making you probably that, oh, well, I've got to this stage and I'm this now, I need to look better. Now that you've gone to law school and you're an attorney at law, and I suppose attorney has a certain je ne sais quoi about it, whatever it is, and you need to look the part. So you lost weight again.
I guess.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay. Now, life presented me with an interesting opportunity to heal. After I graduated law school and I became an attorney, one of my mother's sisters, my aunt, died. And I went to her funeral. And when I went to her funeral, I walked into the cemetery. And what did I see standing right in front of me? I saw two boys. They were my cousins. This was their grandmother who died. I had never met them before. One was about 9 years old and one was about 6 years old. The 6-year-old was standing by himself, stone cold, not crying. You're smiling because you know what's coming.
It resonated.
I sat there and I said, that's me.
Yes.
So, okay. You know how they tell you in therapy that you should hug your inner child?
Yeah.
Well, I literally was presented with the opportunity to do just that. So I sat there. I said, I will be damned if I let what happened to me happen to this kid who I didn't even know. But I said, I'm not going to let it happen to this kid. So I sat there, went up to him. I introduced myself. I said, I'm your cousin. I know exactly how you feel. When I was around your age, my mother died. I felt the same way as you. I was cold. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to feel. I couldn't cry. And I put my arms around him and I told him to cry. And I did not let go until he started crying. So that was a healing thing, but it gets better. Is it okay if I use a teeny bit of French here when we're talking?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. Gets better. Not only did I get the chance to hug my inner child, literally meet him and hug him. At that time, an older Orthodox gentleman, Orthodox Jewish gentleman, Orthodox Jews do not like children being in cemeteries. They think children do not belong at funerals. So in front of 20 or 30 people, this older gentleman says, what are these kids doing here at this cemetery? Kids don't belong at funerals. Well, for one of the few times in my life, I snapped. I mean, I lost it. I turned to him and I said, that was their grandmother. If there's anybody that belongs at that funeral, it's those two kids. And if there's anybody that doesn't belong at that funeral, it's you, you son of a bitch. You can get out of here right now. Can you believe I called him that? In front of 20 or 30 people. He shut up and he did not say another word. So not only did I get to hug my inner child, I got to stand up for him and defend him. And needless to say, all the tears that did not come out at my mother's funeral came out then. So that helped. And
Stanley, let me stop you there. How old were you at that stage?
Probably 35, 34.
Okay.
Something like that. And so it had been probably 27, 28 years. I don't remember exactly. I suppose I could look it up, and I suppose I probably should, but I haven't looked it up.
That's right. It's about 27 years.
Yeah. Carrying that. So that was part of the healing journey. And there's more healing that took place. I'm going to jump in the story real quick to give you the end of the healing phase, and then we're going to talk about the other stuff. 4 months before the COVID shutdown, I was visiting Texas. That's where I was born. I was there on some business. And I went down to visit my parents' graves. And it was the week before Christmas. It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining overhead. It was right around noon. I laid down on the grass between their two graves. And I sat there and I talked to them for an hour. I told my parents everything I had done in my life. And then I thought, and then I think you'd be proud of me and what I've done and what I've accomplished. And then I thanked them for everything they did for me. And more importantly, I forgave them for everything they did to me. Because I harbored a lot of anger at my mother for not telling me that she was dying. But if you look back at it, how hard is it for a 48-year-old woman to admit to her 8-year-old son she's getting ready to die? That's a pretty hard thing to do. So I mean, for me to be angry at her for that, maybe I should forgive her. So I did. And there were a few other things that, you know, she could have done that I think she should have done differently, that she could have. But she didn't. And then I forgave my father for the things he did to me as well. And because he did the best he could and the way he knew how, and then went on. So that was, I felt like took the whole thing full circle. And that was probably 51, 52 years for the whole thing.
Okay.
To go full circle. Okay. But now, back to after I finished law school and I started losing and I lost some weight, I started dating. I wound up getting married. And then we moved to Arizona, where I'm at now. And I formed my own law and accounting practice. And things were going well. But I started putting on more weight and more weight and more weight and more weight, getting back where I was. Now, I never got back to my full 367 pounds. This was me at the full 367.
Okay.
But I never got back there. But I did get up to 320. And I think the reason I never got up to the full 367 was due to one permanent change I had made. I had specifically, back when I used to be at my largest, I used to wake up in the middle of the night and I would eat a full meal in the middle of the night. A full meal. I don't mean a snack. I mean a full meal. And the way I broke myself from that was I would wake up, I would open the freezer. There would be these frozen dinners that had the picture on the cover. I would look at the picture. I would imagine what it tasted like because I'd eaten it so many times. I knew what it tasted like. And I said, that was good. And then I put the box back in the freezer and I went back to sleep. So I broke myself from the habit of eating in the middle of the night. That one habit change alone was good for a 47-pound permanent weight loss. So that ties in with this. Temporary change is going to give you temporary results. Permanent change is going to give you permanent results. So that time, that was one permanent change I made. So that was good for 47 pounds right there. And also something else, looking at it in retrospect, I learned something back then. You don't have to put food into your mouth to taste it. You can smell it. You can feel it. You can look at it. You can imagine what it tastes like, but you don't have to eat it to taste it. Same thing. I tell that to people if they want to quit smoking cigarettes. I say, pull the cigarette out of the pack, take a look at it. You know what it tastes like. You know what it feels like to breathe in the smoke. Close your eyes. Imagine you just had that cigarette and then put it back in the pack and don't smoke it. Same thing if you want alcohol, same thing. Pour a drink. You know what it tastes like. You know how it makes you feel, but don't drink it. So anyway, so that's a useful thing that I've learned, and that I tell people if they're dealing with something, you can call it an addiction or you can call it a bad habit. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But if it's something you want to, I don't like addiction because I think addiction has a negative connotation to it. And I think addiction also sometimes lets us off the hook. Like, for example, you can be addicted to food, wanting to eat certain food, or you can be addicted to heroin. I think it's a lot easier to break your addiction to food than it is to break your addiction to heroin.
Yes.
Because there's a physical part to the heroin, and food might be emotional. So I guess proper phrase would be emotional addiction versus physical addiction. So I'm married. Life's going well, but I'm getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Fast forward, it's 4 months before my 50th birthday. February 1st, 2009. That was a little over 17 years ago. 9 days ago, I just celebrated my 17th rebirthday. I call that day my rebirthday, and I celebrate it every year. So I woke up and I said, where am I going to be in 5 years if I keep going the way I'm going? I didn't like the answer. Would you care to guess what the answer was? Yeah, you go ahead. You can say it. Dead.
No, if you keep on growing like that, but you'll end up with heart attacks and all the rest, and probably
dead
in your grave.
Yeah, and guess what? I didn't want to be dead. So I said, I need to make some changes right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, right now. Now, if you notice, that was February 1st, not January 1st. I had made a New Year's resolution on January 1st that I was going to do something, and I didn't do it. Like so many people, I failed in my New Year's resolution. But the moral of that story is, okay, you failed in your New Year's resolution. Start now. It doesn't have to be New Year's.
Yeah.
Okay, so I said, I need to start eating better, right? I need to learn to eat better right now. And I need to start exercising every day right now if my body can hold it. Because, I was pretty sore at the time. I hadn't had a heart attack yet. I hadn't had a stroke yet. I wasn't on high blood pressure medication or diabetes medication, but I probably should have been, but I wasn't going to the doctor, so I don't know. So I was neglecting my body. So I said, I need to make changes. So I told my wife, I'm going to make some changes in my life starting right now. You might like them and you might not like them. And to be quite frank with you, I don't care. I have to make these changes or I'm going to be dead. This is what I call a moment of healthy selfishness. There's healthy selfishness and there's unhealthy selfishness. This was healthy what I did.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going on a journey and I'm inviting you to come along with me. And I hope you do. But if you don't, there's the door. You can go right now. I told her that. And just so you know, spoiler alert, we're still married. Okay. But, so all is well. But
let me stop you. Is your wife, because you put on this weight, what was the weight of your wife?
She's always been around 120 pounds, 115 pounds. She's I mean, she might get to a time where she needs to lose 5 pounds or gain 5 pounds, but she's always been pretty stable.
Good. All right, please. Go.
So, yeah. So I am. So I said, I'm going to make changes. So the very first change I made was I quit drinking alcohol. I was drinking scotch every day. I won't say I was an alcoholic, but I will definitely say I was drinking too much. And I will definitely say I was serving the alcohol and it was not serving me. Yeah. So I took my last bottle of scotch. I believe in symbolism here. I took my last bottle of scotch. I poured it down the toilet. I hit flush. Gone. I've not had scotch in 17 years and I don't miss it. Now, those 2-liter bottles of soda pop, I was drinking 3 of those a day.
Ooh.
Yes, ooh is right. And but they were diet and caffeine free, so surely they were healthy, weren't they?
I think we found out
No,
that
no, they weren't. But the soda company wants you to think it's healthy.
that's right.
Yes,
They're
they
not.
were not. So again, with the symbolism, I took my last bottle, I poured it down the toilet, hit flush, gone. Haven't had one in 17 years. See, now this is the difference. Those were 2 addictions. But to me, I classify them as emotional addictions.
Hmm.
I did not find it hard to quit drinking. I did not find it hard to quit drinking soda pop. Did I miss it for a week or 2 or a month or so? Yes, I did. But emotionally, I missed it. I didn't miss it physically. My body didn't start shaking when I didn't have the alcohol. It didn't start shaking when I didn't have the soda. Now, if that would have been heroin, my body would have been shaken and everything else. That's why I'm saying some addictions are easier than others, or maybe some addictions are harder than others.
Yeah.
And I understand that. So I did that. And then the other thing I did was I quit eating red meat. I quit eating beef and pork. Because I figured that was, I like chicken and turkey. So I figured that was a place where I could make a health benefit. And the interesting part was my father was a butcher, and I grew up in a home with unlimited free meat. And for me to give up beef and pork, that was an accomplishment in and of itself. But I did. And then I started walking. I said, walking is going to be my exercise of choice. And I picked walking because I figured you didn't need a lot of special equipment. You could do it almost anywhere, anytime. And it would beat my body up less than most other forms of exercise. So I said, I'm going to start trying to walk every day. And little did I realize how prophetic my words were. Very prophetic, which we'll get to when we jump to where I'm at today. So by the time I reached 50 years old, 4 months later, I'd lost about 50 pounds. I was starting to feel better, and I kept going. After about 5 years of that, I said, I'm ready to make another push. I want to go further than I've gone. So I gave up chicken and turkey. I went vegetarian. I was still eating eggs and dairy, but I was vegetarian. And I lost some more weight. I did that for 5 years. Then almost 5 years. Then about 8 years ago, I was stuck. I could not get my weight below 180 pounds.
Okay.
And it was not stable. It would go 180, 190, 200, 190, 180, 190. It would go back and forth. And I couldn't get below 180. But at the time, I was walking 10 to 15 miles every day.
Oh.
Yeah. And I can't lose weight.
And that's a whole lot of miles.
Yeah, it is. Well, don't worry. I'm going to tell you how much I walk now, and you'll laugh. But the point is, that's another thing to learn. You cannot exercise your way out of a poor diet. My answer was not to walk more. My answer was not to exercise more. My answer was to analyze my diet and see, is there anything else I should change? And I'm going to tell you something else. My definition of diet has expanded. It's not just what you put in your mouth. It's the thoughts you put in your head. It's the environment you create for yourself. It's the people you surround yourself with. It's the thoughts you allow in your head. It's everything. So I said, I need to make some changes. So I gave up cheese, butter, and ice cream. I went vegan. Okay. I gave up cheese, butter, and ice cream. You know what happened? I lost 50 pounds in like 5 minutes. I mean, I literally melted. And you could just see the weight coming off me. I'd get on the scale. I've lost 1 pound a day. It was just when I stopped eating cheese, butter, and ice cream with the amount of walking I was doing. And so I got to the point where my weight eventually stabilized and where I'm at today. around 145 pounds. Very happy, very healthy. I just went to the doctor 3-4 weeks ago. I had my annual physical, did all my blood work. I will put my blood work, I'm 66, and I will put my blood work numbers up against any 30-year-old. I was pleased. And I like where I'm at, and I like what I do. And I feel like I'm 30 to 35 years old, except I was not in this good a shape when I was that age. So, lesson to be learned there. You can reverse backwards. You can reverse your age.
Mm-hmm.
You can get younger. That's another thing. I told you the thoughts we put in our head. We tell ourselves, oh, we're getting older, we're getting older, we're getting older. I choose to get younger.
You're right. That's what we say to ourselves.
Yes, we do. And we need to pay attention to we need to pay attention to what we say to ourselves, because it's not always good stuff.
No. Words are powerful.
Yeah, very. So out of this experience, the experience taught me two things and led me to ask one question. First thing it taught me was that if I could do all these things I've done, I'm more powerful than I ever imagined. Way more powerful than I ever imagined. Now, if you'd have told me 17 years ago I was going to do what I've done, lose all this weight, keep it off, and do as much walking as I do. You want to know how much walking I do? You're going to laugh. I'm going to show you a graphic. This is how much walking I did last year.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. 5,166 miles.
Yes.
Okay. Now, imagine I started in Los Angeles in the USA and started walking. I came within 300 miles of London. I almost made it to you. But I ended up in the middle of the Atlantic, so it's a good thing I know how to swim. and my goal this year is to make it to London. So over the last 17 years, if you take the Earth at the equator, I've gone around the Earth 2.92 times. And come June or July this year, I'm on pace, it'll be 3 times. I have walked 30% of the way to the moon. That is insane. Now,
so Stanley, how much, as of when I say today, as of this present time, how much walking do you do each day?
I walk approximately 40,000 steps a day.
40,000 steps. And how would you say that? Is that a mile, 2 miles?
No, that's 15 miles.
Every day?
Every day. I have built a lifestyle for myself where I can do that. I work from home. I work for myself. I have a computer on my treadmill. I sit there and I can walk. I walk slowly. I walk at 2.25 miles an hour. But I walk. And now let me make a couple of statements about myself. That's a little crazy, I will admit. It is. But what I've done is I have taken all my negative addictions and replaced them with a positive, healthy addiction. And I do it. Do you know why I do it? I do it because I can. I haven't discovered my limits yet. When I say I'm more powerful than I ever imagined, that's what I mean. I haven't discovered my limits. Yeah.
You've done 2 lots of losing weight, and then you've got up one day and said to your wife, I'm changing.
Yes.
Now, what triggered you to get up and say, I'm changing?
The realization, yeah, I was going to be dead if I didn't get off my butt and do something. And I didn't want to be dead. I realized, okay, You know how when you're younger, you think you're invincible and you always have more time?
Yeah.
And I sat there and I said to myself, my time's running out. It's time to stop messing around. Plus, I was literally, I won't say I was at rock bottom. I was not at rock bottom, but I was sick and tired. When I told my wife, I said, I'm cooked. I'm done. No more. I was done. I said, I was wasting my life. I was wasting my potential. I can be so much more than what I am. And the funny thing is, if you look back to my mother always taught me that I can be anything. I only had 8 years with her. And I know from the minute I was born, she knew she was dying because she pushed me and pushed me and pushed me as hard as she could while she was alive because she knew she had limited time. I can tell that. I know that's what happened. And so I said I was wasting my potential. So here I am. Out of this experience, I've learned I'm more powerful than I ever imagined. You know what else it taught me? It taught me, this is for the interest of your listeners, it taught me that if I'm more powerful than I ever imagined, so is everyone else.
Yes.
I am no more special than you. You are no more special than me. We are all special, each and every one of us. We are all more powerful than we ever imagined. So here, if you take one message out of this, you are more powerful than you ever imagined. Know it, feel it, believe it. And once you realize that you're more powerful than you ever imagined, it leads you to ask a question. This is the question it caused me to ask.
Mm-hmm.
It said, if I've already done all of these things and I'm capable of doing all these incredible things, what else out there is waiting for me to do that I haven't done yet that I should be doing? Does that make sense?
Yep. Once you come to that realization that you are powerful, that you are an extension of the creator, which is limitless, then what else can you do? That you are limitless. We are limitless.
Yeah.
We limit ourselves.
Yes.
We limit
Exactly.
ourselves.
Yes. But it's funny. We do limit ourselves, but there are some practical limits. I mean, at the age of 66, I will never be the starting goalie for Manchester United.
No.
No, I won't do that. But I could probably work with the starting goalie for Manchester United and teach him how to be a better goalie.
There's realizations we have to come to.
Yeah, but you do what you. But the point is, you have this incredible power. So it made me say, if I have all this power, how am I going to harness it?
Mm-hmm.
So now, as an attorney and an accountant, I've always been a systems thinker. I've been paid over the years to take complicated things and make them simple.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, how do I turn this into a system? And what do I call it? Well, the first thing I realized was the goal is not perfection. The goal is excellence. The difference is if you try to be perfect, first of all, you're a human being. You're never going to get there. You're never going to be perfect. There are no perfect human beings. And I can promise you, you're not going to be the first. And excellence, on the other hand, means that you can reach a point where you're good enough. You're great where you're at right now, but you can always work to get better. There's always a level higher. There's always a level deeper. Always. So you can work for that. So that's the goal. Strive toward excellence, not perfection. So I asked myself, what are the qualities of an excellent human being? And in the beginning, I came up with 14. Then I added a 15th, and then a 16th, and then I added 4 more and came up with 20. And I don't know how we're doing on time, so I don't think I'm going to go through the whole system because it takes me probably 20 minutes to go through the whole system.
Yeah.
But this is all this stuff's on my website.
Mm-hmm.
If you want me to go through it, I will. But if not, I'll give you the brief overview.
Just the overview.
So, okay, that's what I figured. So this is what the system looks like. And when you go to my website, which is NC's, we'll put in the show notes, I'm assuming, the website is thewayofexcellence.com. And I'm trying to find my right here. This is the website, thewayofexcellence.com. If you go there, the entire system is available for free. I have 8 of my books are on the website. You can download them all digitally or read them online for free. These are full-length books. They help explain the system. There are videos on the system, each one of the parts. It's all free. And the reason why it's free, it's not that I don't like money. It's the mission I am on is more important than the money. And I am at a phase in my life where fortunately I can say that. Not everyone can say that because you got to pay, but you have bills to pay. You need to put a roof over your head. Yeah, I understand that. But I'm in a position where I can say that. I consider myself extremely fortunate to be where I am at. And I consider it my privilege to help others learn what I've learned. Because let me ask you this. I woke up when I was 49 and a half years old. Did it take me 49 and a half years to change my life? Or did I change my life in an instant? What do you think?
Well, you, for the 49 years, you were going up and down and you went through so much, you changed, and then you went back again. But when you came to 49, you probably realized that I need permanent change, not temporary change.
Yeah. What
And once you decided, and this is why I asked you before, what drove you? You woke up and you looked back at your life, your father, those around you, you looking at yourself, the up and down, and you realize that if you don't do something on a permanent basis, things are not going to work out well.
Yeah.
And in that time of realizing that you wanted to live, you decided, I want to live, and you changed.
And I want to live well.
And you want to live.
But here's the point. The point I want to illustrate. I don't say it took me 49 and a half years to change my life. Mm-hmm. I say it took me 49 and a half years to get to the point where I changed my life in an instant. Mm-hmm. So my goal and what I teach people to do is how to get to the point where they change their life in an instant without waiting 49 and a half years to do it. That's what this is all about. Because you don't need to wait as long as I did. But with all that said and done, I have no regrets for what I did because it was necessary to teach me what I learned and to turn me into the person I am today. Now, would I make changes if I could? Yes, I would. If I could, I'd make changes. But I can't, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to lose sleep about it. I'm going to enjoy where I'm at now. So the point is, with this system, I'm going to give you a very, very quick overview. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It starts out with concept number 1, telling it like it is. When I woke up on that day, my rebirth day, I said, I have to change my life or I'm dead. That's telling it like it is about as hard as you can tell it like it is. But there's a second part to it. That was not the first time I had told myself that I need to change my life. It was the first time I told myself I need to change my life, and then I permanently took action on that. You have to take action. Second thing, number 2, realize this is a long-term game. The rest of your life. I have one of my books on the website. It's called The Way of the Long Term. Talks just about that. Life is a long-term game. And the problem is we live in a world full of short-term gratification.
Yes.
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 Yes. Everything is right there at our fingertips. And that's beautiful. And that's also horrible.
Yeah. Easy come, easy go.
Yes. Well, some things in life are long-term. So me, every time I went to the Chinese buffet to eat lunch, that was giving me short-term gratification, but it was killing my long-term. As I tell people, I was committing slowicide. I was slowly killing myself by eating. Then the third thing, I took personal responsibility. I didn't blame my mother for dying when I was 8 years old. I didn't blame my father for not teaching me how to eat properly or getting me help when I needed counseling help when I needed it. And the reality is that was 1967. Back then, people didn't send kids to counselors. No, didn't happen. So, that's fine. And I didn't even blame myself because blame is irrelevant. Blame doesn't fix problems. All that matters is identifying what needs to be done and then doing it. And I wish someone would tell that to all of the leaders in the world right now.
Yeah.
Stop blaming each other. Start getting together and fixing things. We live in an incredible, fantastic world in an incredible, fantastic time.
Yes.
But we all have to wake up and realize that and take advantage of that. Okay. Then I'm going to jump forward. I became persistent. I realized that every time I fail, I realized that I'm a human being. I'm going to fail. You are a human being. If you start, you're going to fail. No matter what you're doing, you're going to have a bad day. You're going to make mistakes. Well, mistakes are proof that you're trying. The question is not, are you going to make mistakes? It's what are you going to do when you make a mistake? Are you going to say, I messed up, and are you going to quit? Or are you going to say, I messed up and I'm going to do better tomorrow? That was the one thing I did different here. Every time I messed up, I got back up. And I kept going. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. Keep going. If you want to change your life, there are 2. It's real simple. Get started and never stop. That's it. I can't make it any simpler than that. My motto is simple. Beat yesterday. Your goal is to be better today than you were yesterday. And you're not going to always do that. Sometimes you're going to have a bad day. But if you don't totally fall apart after having that bad day and you pick yourself up the next day, that is beating yesterday. Because in the past, you used to fall apart and quit. Now you're not going to quit. So that is beating yesterday. It started, keep going. Now we're almost there. We're going to get down to the last 5 parts. And this is everything I've told you doesn't mean anything if you're not willing. Number 16 in the system, willingness. You have to be willing to do what it takes for the rest of your hopefully very long, hopefully very healthy, hopefully very happy life. Not for a week, not for a month, not for a year, the rest of your life. You have to be willing. I used to think the 3 most important words in the English language were, I love you. I don't think that anymore. To me, the 3 most important words in the English language are you willing? If you're willing, everything becomes possible. If you're not willing, nothing's possible. Then there's belief.
Believe this.
I've already told you, you're more powerful than you ever imagined. Believe it. Seriously, believe it. And if you have that belief, what are you going to do with that belief? What power comes out of that belief? Then you have discipline. And I don't mean punishment. I mean self-discipline. I mean taking the time to identify all of your negative habits and getting rid of them. Me, drinking scotch every day, gone. Drinking soda pop every day, gone. Eating junk food every day, gone. Sitting on my rear end every day, gone. And then creating new positive habits in their place. Walking every day, done. Eating healthy every day, done. All those, surrounding myself with good people, done. Helping people, done. All those things. So identifying everything negative, getting rid of it, everything positive, and increasing it. Because, and then commitment. Commitment is what makes it easy. When you're 100% committed to do something, it becomes easier. For example, I'm 100% committed that only healthy food is going to go into my mouth. Whenever someone presents me with unhealthy food, I don't ask myself, could I eat it? I don't ask me, should I eat it? I don't ask myself, will it mess me up if I eat it? I just say, I'm not eating it. I had that yesterday. We were out walking in my neighborhood, and one of my neighbors saw me. She had just made key lime pie. And she gave us 2 big pieces of key lime pie. And she said, here, she said, Stanley, I know you're not going to eat it, but I know your wife will. And she gave it to us. And I sat there and said, you're right. But I didn't think about eating it. The thought never entered my mind, but I did smell it. And when I smelled it, I imagined what it tasted like. And I enjoyed the smell. And that was that. But I didn't put it in my body. I'm walking. I do it every day. I'm 100% committed to walking every day. I don't ask myself, should I walk today? I do it. That's it. It's not negotiable. So when you're 100% committed, you stop asking questions. It becomes easier. Now, the last thing, and this is, I know you will like this, mind, body, spirit, integrating it all. You see this little diagram? This is my logo for my system. 3 parts, like yin yang, but red is mind, blue is body, green is spirit. And if you look inside the red, you'll see there's a little blue and green yin yang in there. That's because the body and the spirit feed the mind. If you look inside the blue body, you're going to see a red and green yin yang. That's because the mind and spirit feed the body. And you look inside the green spirit, you will see a red and blue yin yang, because that's because the mind and the body feed the spirit. They're all connected. If you look in the middle of the circle, you see that little figure in there? Can you see that?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Little person there in the middle. That's where you want to be.
Yeah.
You want to be equal parts mind, body, spirit. See, when I started out, I was all mind. I was sitting at a desk all day doing law and accounting, and I was all mind, and I was getting no exercise, and I was putting unhealthy food in my body, and it was causing my spirit to suffer as well. I had to bring it into balance. I learned to do that because it's real simple. Your mind feeds your body and your spirit. Your body feeds your mind and your spirit feeds your mind and your body. And when I say spirit, to me, that's everything that's intangible. Things you can't put your fingers on, your hands on. And that's what spirit is to me. But now I'm going to make this easier again, because I'm all about making things easier. I've told you all these things that you have to do, right? Well, guess what? You don't have to do any of these. You get to do these things. It is your privilege to do these things. You are alive and breathing. As long as you are alive and breathing, it is your privilege to change your life. It is your privilege to get healthier. It is your privilege to help other people. It is your privilege to make your life better, to help make the lives of those around you better, to make the world a better place. It's your privilege. It's not your obligation. That makes it much easier, doesn't it? It's all in how you look at it.
It's how you look at it to help you to achieve that which you want to achieve. And it's
Yes,
the thing. Yeah.
exactly.
You
Now,
change the perception of things. It's not a duty, it's not a chore, but it's a privilege. And when you use the words in that way, it resonates throughout your being.
yes, it's like, to me, when I see a homeless person, I don't have to help them. It's my privilege to help them. Look at the wonderful life I have. I'm in a position where I can help them. It's my privilege. I should help them. And everything we've talked about, the whole system, it's on my website. Which again is the £1,000,000 Weight Loss Challenge. It's free. You can go there. There are no catches. If you want to email me, there's a link at the bottom of the page. You can email me. And also, if the thing you want to change is weight loss, I have a whole separate website on weight loss that's also free that you can join. And if you go to the bottom of that main page, there's a link to that other website, the weight loss website. So if that's what you want, go there too. And it's free because it's my way of giving back. And I do work with people privately if they want to hire me, but they don't have to. You can take care of yourself. I make it available for free because I think everyone is entitled to help. And it shouldn't just be about money. And also another reason I do that is so many people out there who are giving us messages about what it is to be healthy. It's all because they're trying to sell us something. It's all because they want to make money off of us.
Yes.
Well, what I'm telling you is, I'm not asking you for your money. So maybe that means you should listen to me a little bit more. Hopefully.
Yeah. Stanley, you're absolutely correct. So many things out there that we see, it is about money. Although I do notice it's not so expensive as it used to be. They're bringing the prices down, but I suppose it's because, well, the more you get, the better. But Stanley, you have given us so much advice, and thank you for making that free. And as you said earlier, you're in the position where you can do that, and you're looking at the bigger picture, and you want to give so much more because you're in that that area that you can. And bless you for that.
Thank you.
And I really mean that sincerely, because when we are in that position and we do give, it is a privilege. And it's very satisfying because we're all connected. And when we can help one another, that's the greatest thing you can do.
You're absolutely right. We are connected. When I help you, I'm helping myself.
Yeah.
And I'm crazy enough to believe that we can change the world.
I'm crazy enough to think that as well. It's possible. It's possible. It's very, very possible.
It is.
We can do it when we understand, as you said, and as I say, we're spiritual beings with a physical body having the human experience. We're of the Creator. We are powerful. And therefore, if we do what we should do, as above, so below, we can make this heaven on earth.
Yes, we do.
It's down to us.
We do what we get to do.
Yes, thank you. We get what we were meant to do.
Yeah.
And that's true. We get what we're meant to do. Live a life that we can create heaven on earth. And we're all connected. So what's the beef? There is no, and when I say there is no challenge, there's no competition. Why? Everybody can have everything they want. So what's the competition about? There's enough.
There is enough in this world for everyone.
Everyone to have what they want and to live the life that they want. Not in obesity. And obesity doesn't come just in weight. It comes in other aspects of life. Mm-hmm. So many of us see they're obese in what they're doing, and it's not necessary. Stanley, thank you so much for sharing. And before I say thank you and goodbye, can you leave us with a nugget of two of advice to all those who are listening.
2 sentences. You've got this. This is your time.
You are so right. You've
So
got
good.
this, and this is your time. And we have got this, and this is our time. And we've just got to remember, as you said, we are powerful. And we're all connected. And the more of us wake up and do, it sends a bigger ripple, a bigger wave. That we are the microcosm looking at the macrocosm. It's down to us to change it. And it's possible.
It's happening.
It's happening. Yeah, we can see it
It's just not going to happen in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But remember what I said. Think long term. That's one of the reasons I want to live a very long time. I want to see these things happen.
Yeah. Yes, so much so. And you know, when you say it's possible, if we look at the Bible in days of old, people were living to 200, 300, 600. So what happened?
Yes.
What happened? It is possible. Somebody lived in the Bible to 1,000 and something years old. It happened. So this is your time and you've got this. So I hope you've all enjoyed what Stanley has to say. He's given it free. Please go to his website, which is thewayofexcellence.com. Thewayofexcellence.com. And everything is there. You can also reach out to him. Go to that website. He's got his books, which you can download free. There's different things he's giving to you, and he's giving them. So please take advantage of them. So all of you, thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Bronstein. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving those things and sharing them. So I thank you on behalf of everybody.
You're welcome. It's my privilege.
It's fine. So, and I'm going to have a word with you afterwards. So stay tuned. But for everybody who's there, thank you for joining us. Take care and bye for now. Stanley, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Everyone.